Hi everyone and welcome back to another card making video. Today I'm featuring the Spellbinders club, and this is the large die of the month club. They give you lots of dies that you can build not only a fish and a mermaid, but also this bag where you can have all those elements inside. You can see a photo up in the screen, so you can see all the different elements that you can put together. And for today, for my card, I'm going for a shaker card. So I'm using the inside die for the bag, and just because I'm planning to use the outer die on top of it, I need to make sure that this is going to fit on my panel. By the way, I'm working on a single panel which is dark blue, and it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to use the inside die, and you can see that I created my window there. Now I need to use both dies and cut out the frame, which is going to give the shape of the bag on my card. And then I went ahead and cut out all the other pieces that I need to put my card together. For this card I went with solid colored cardstock, and I just cut out all the pieces. Usually I like to cut out everything out of white cardstock and then use my inks and do some ink blending. However, for this card I decided to go this way, and I absolutely love the result. So here I'm sticking on top of my panel the outer frame of my bag, and then there are other bits and pieces that you can embellish your bag with. So there are those two little pieces that you can stick up at the top to add dimension on your bag. Now for these I did use some foam squares at the top, and at the bottom I'm using glue. This way I have them lift up only at the top, and you see I am combining glue and foam squares. I'm also going to bring in my tweezers just to make sure that this is going to stay put and stuck down there. And then there are these little pieces for the ribbon. You can definitely use different colors for them. I'm just sticking one on top of the other with glue, just to add that extra dimension that the extra layering gives you. But you can definitely use different colors to make it even more prominent. And now I'm happy with how the front of my panel looks. Let's work on the back. I'm using some double-sided tape, and I'll go all around the shape, the window. Though this way I will be able to stick my acetate on top. I like to go with double-sided tape when it comes to acetate. I find that it provides the sturdier way to stick it down, and it is less messier than using white glue. So I'm just going to peel off the backing, and then I do have acetate by recycling acetate from other things that when it comes in packaging, like for stamps or for embossing folders, I always keep that on a drawer, and I can use it for my shaker cards. So the top panel is ready. Let's now work on the back. Now for the back I am going to stick down the top and the bottom of the inside of the bag. So to give the illusion of water, I did use light blue cardstock, and for the top and the bottom of the water I did use a slightly darker shade of blue. Now I am going to use my scissors and chop off the top. There are many different ways that you can put that together, but I want to have the level of the water up to a certain point. You will see what I mean once I stick that on top of a scrap piece of white cardstock. And then I'm going to place the panel on top so you can see where I'm going for. So I think it looks beautiful now. It is time to embellish and add all the little bits and pieces that we have inside the bag. Now for the fish, there are 3 different layers that you can switch colors and play with color combinations. I went with red for the bottom, orange for the middle layer, and then there is this little fin that you can stick on top, and I went with yellow for that. I'm not adding any dimension, I'm not using foam squares here. This is going to go inside the window, and I don't want to add extra bulk. Now I'm attaching the finishing touch, which is the eye, and then I'm going to play and just try and decide what is the best placement for the fish and the seaweed that I have cut out, I will end up not using the seaweed as it is because it is quite large. I just cut out smaller pieces out of it and just glue it down. And again, for the fish, I'm going with glue at the back. I don't want to add any extra dimension. I already have dimension just by layering all that cardstock. So I'm going to add the finishing touches, which are the bubbles. And then to complete the whole construction, I need to add foam strips at the back of my window panel. So as I go all around, I will make sure that these touch each other and I don't leave any gaps, otherwise my sequin mix will fall out. And actually I'm using this confetti mix, which is pearlescent and very flat. I had it in my stash for ages, and all I have to do now is to just place the panel on top and then press to make sure that everything is sealed down. Absolutely love it. Now all I have to do is to just stick that on top of a card base that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, as well as add the sentiment. And the sentiment was actually a die included in the kit. So just like always, you will find links to everything I used down below in the description. Here are some close-up photos on the card that I made for today. I hope that you had fun, that you got inspired, and I'll see you all next time.